Welcome to our presentation. This is the GSU Blackjack, and it's created by John Nguyen and Justin Neal. The problem we were faced was to create a user interface of a topic of our choice. Our choice was a blackjack game. We were supposed to apply the three concepts of transform, transitions, and animations. And one of the biggest problems during this was just working around each other's schedule.
So I'm going to talk about the design. So we wanted to come up with a website for a UI for a blackjack game. And we wanted the overall design of a blackjack table to be implemented. And then we wanted to add chips on the table with the correct colors to represent their dominations. And then we wanted a card deck, and we wanted the shuffling of this deck when it was hovered over with the mouse. And we also wanted player hands with the ability to flip the card that is face down. And we also wanted a delayed fade in of cards and title for cinematic effect when loading the website.
This is a snippet of our code for the flip cards. As you can see, there's a div class of a player 1, and it holds a div class of fade in and a div class of hand, which is the player's cards. And to represent the card, we put the image source of 1C, and that stands for an ace. And then the next card is where we actually implemented the flip, and that holds the back image and the front image. 13C representing king and blue back representing the back card. And right on the right, you can see our CSS, where it sets the parameters for the card's width and height, and the translation for the card itself. For the flip, you can see it's where it says rotate 180 degrees.
All right, here's our code for the shuffling. See, we have a div, the ID card deck, and inside that is another div. And this controls the fading in of the cards. And then inside that, we have another div, which is the container for the card, or all the cards actually. And then inside that, we have 3 divs, one for each card, all with the image of the back of the card. And then over to the right of that, we have our CSS. For the card, we just set the size and its original position and the transformation. And then on the hover, we start the animation with 200 milliseconds between all 3 cards being shuffled and 75 milliseconds for each card to be shuffled and brought back in the rotation. And we wanted to ease this in and continue infinitely on hover. And then for our cards, we just have their Z indexes, which is their location in the deck. So we have begin, middle, and end. And then to the right of that, we have the keyframes for the beginning card. And we have from 5 to 80%, and we just move its location in the deck. And we also translate it out to the left and then bring it back in. All right, go to next. And for testing, we split the testing between each other. And so the testing was carried out after each feature was implemented, basically. We would work in a new feature and then test it out as we went along to make sure everything worked okay. Okay. So our bugs and issues. So I'm going to talk about the card flip, and in the card flip, we had lots of issues, like the card that was supposed to be face down to be flipped was not showing up, or it was showing up directly below the card in the deck, or it was was showing up in the right location, and when you would hover over it, it would either disappear or it would flip to the other side and reverse the image, or it would just be face up of the card, and which was what we didn't want it to do. And basically the fix for this was I had all of the right elements in the CSS, but I just didn't have the correct ordering of those elements. So it was causing some wacky bugs. Okay, you can go on to card shuffle.
For the card shuffle, one of the things that I had a problem with was just creating the card itself. Just thinking about creating 52 cards, but since it's just user interface, it just to show example, it was just better to just take not create the 52 cards and just set a certain few images. So that's why we picked up only a handful of cards, and then to create the card shuffle itself, just speeding it up, just to make it look like a card shuffle without actually having to do cards. We're just using 3 cards and just speeding it up. We can create a good image of it.
Okay, I'm going to talk about some bugs with Flexbox. Flexbox is really annoying to work with. Sometimes when you have the elements in the Flexbox, they should show up in a row, but instead they show up in a column. Or if you add something as small as like text and everything just misaligns, even with the correct alignment of your Flexbox items. And some fixes to this was possibly the containers being overflowed, or aligning of the items will get everything back in proper order. Also, the correct sizing of the containers as well. All right. So let's go over to the demo.
Okay.
I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Oh wait, I gotta change it up real quick. Let's stop share line. Yep, there we go. Can see yours now.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go over to our website. I'm gonna paste it here. And this is our blackjack game. You can see the title and the cards faded in. Our used card slot is here. Our chips and their colors to represent their denominations are here. We have our title, Blackjack GSU. We have the player card slots as well as the 2-player cards. And we have our deck right here. We can hover over it and it will shuffle. And then we have our player's hand over here on the right. He has a 5, and if we hover over it, the card flips, and we see that he has a hand of 15. And we go to our other player. He has an ace. We hover, flip over his card, and he has a hand of either 11 or 21. So he holds the play in this game. And that is our Blackjack GSU UI. Thank you.